everybody, and welcome to another episode of Conversations with Geoff, where our mission, is to flip the script on your stinking thinking, help you change the conversation you're having about yourself, and step into your purpose. How you see yourself is how you be yourself. Yeah, my mom was rolling over. I'm sorry, Mom, but that's just how it is. How you see yourself is how you be yourself. So I ask you, as you sit here and listen to this conversation I'm having with a powerful man that's coming up here soon, what was your day like today? What conversation did you have? Were you listening to from yourself about yourself to start your day? There's only two conversations, right? One's going to be the stinking thinking packed one that's always running. And the other one's going to be a whisper oftentimes about what you really are, who you really are supposed to be, what that real identity that's been covered up with feelings and emotions. Anyway, listen, I believe that to be true for everybody. It takes away the excuses of, I don't have the money to invest in something. I don't have the experience to invest in something. Paying attention to our conversation, our self-inflicted conversations. We can do that at any time in our lives. And what that means is change your conversation, change your life. You got to do the work, but there's nothing guaranteed. And listen, you're going to hear some stuff from the man coming up today. Woo, I was chatting with him beforehand. I love this opportunity because I get to really see people as I see them. And man, this brother, he's just a genuine, he's a true leader. He's just, let me just tell you, click the link for all your friends, get them on this session. Make sure you hit the notification bell and also watch the recording of this. Because I'm going to tell you something. There's no way you're going to catch everything that this man has to say. All right. Get your pen and pad out. Get ready to take some notes. Right. So anyway, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Geoff Tyson, and I'm known as the Comeback King and host of Conversations with Geoff International and founder of Comeback King Enterprises. And we line up with what our guest speaker talks about in terms of serving relentlessly around leadership, health, and wealth. So anyway, let me just highlight the bio. I mean, the bio is just impressive. And so if I skip anything, I'll send it to you because you got to see this guy's background. I mean, just done some amazing and doing amazing things. So let me see, where are my notes here? I like to start with the fact that he's an international speaker, world-renowned coach, and author. I mean, he's got some incredible books. I've kind of started looking at some of them, and he's got one coming out here recently that we want to maybe get him to talk a little bit about where that one came from and why, right? I mean, his stories on his books really, it's about it. Woo! It's a lot about emotions, it's a lot about life, it's a lot about being real, right? So that he's author, Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award recipient, Forbes Top 20, right? And just recently won on the stage Speak Off was the winner of that. And I know there was some powerful competition in that space. So this man is who he says he is. Ladies and gentlemen, help me bring to Conversations with Geoff, my friend and our guest, John Porter. What's up, big man?
What's going on, my brother?
You are. Thank you again for taking the time out of your busy schedule to visit with us today, John.
No, thank you so much for having me. It's truly a blessing to be amongst the living and to actually be on your show. It's definitely an honor.
Oh, man. Well, we take that, and we do appreciate it. So, let's just kind of get with it, man, because I know you ain't going to be here long. So, and I talked a lot about your bio, some highlights and everything else, but really, just give us in a couple of minutes, who is John Porter now? And then let's go back and take a peek behind the curtain.
Right now, it's just kind of funny because I just really tapped into this new season of my life maybe 3 years ago. Was retired law enforcement officer after doing 23 years of every capacity in Bibb County in Macon, Georgia. And this new season of my life involves me writing books, public speaking, being a motivational speaker, and also the season of my life with just happened over the last year. It's kind of funny because God pretty much led me in a whole different direction because, uh, and it was based on some of the stuff that I was going through. And now I feel like that I'm being called to the brothers and the young men to give them safe spaces to heal. And one of the things that I've done actually recently was just launch the Cave of Kings in Detroit, which actually I started in Atlanta 3 months ago. And it's just actually growing and growing and growing, and just giving brothers a safe space to heal, giving brothers a safe space to land, giving brothers an opportunity to learn, grow, and heal. You know, the classic sign, you know, iron sharpens iron.
Yes.
And, you know, we unfortunately, as men, people don't understand the burdens that we carry. And we have to have these safe spaces in order to have a safe release, because that's why the women are outliving us 10 to 12 years, because they're going to their friends and they have safe spaces. We are holding all of these emotions in and not letting them go. And so that's why we're having the health issues, because stress is the number one killer of African American males, and people don't want to realize it. And you have to have an outlet for that stress. So that's why I'm giving brothers safe spaces to learn, heal, and grow.
You know, I love that, John, you know, and you know, just to kind of add in the power of this is, as a police officer and 23 years of service, you not only serve the folks right in front of you, but those, anyone that you came in contact with, from what I heard and what I've seen. And back to what you're saying, man. So thank you for your service. And now I believe you're retired now, right?
I'm retired.
Hey.
23 years. To God be the glory.
Come on, man. Amen, brother. Amen.
And even with that, it was just kind of crazy how that happened. I actually caught COVID in May of 2022. And, you know, this was when everybody was saying it's safe to be outside and you can, you know, don't have to wear a mask. And I ended up catching COVID in May of 2022. And just progressively, my health started getting a little worse and didn't know why. But now what they call long COVID, a long haul COVID.
Yeah.
I was diagnosed with that in September. And by the time October of 2022 came around, I was unable to work. And so during that season, you know, I went through the short-term, long-term disability.
Yeah.
And people, you know, don't even understand. Like I had, at that time, my daughter was still in college. And I got grown folks' bills. And so, you know, that little short-term disability money only gonna get so far.
Yeah.
So during that season of my life, well, one, I was isolated and I had to stay at home. And I'm so used to being in the community and being on the go. That's where God allowed me to tap into some other things. And that's when I started writing books. And then that's when I started public speaking. Again, because I've been speaking all of my life, but just pretty much embracing this season that God is, you know, taking me through.
Well, you know, he had to take you off your grid for a minute so you could hear him. You know, he had to take you off of your, what you thought was a responsibility, so you could begin to do something different. You know, those doors closed, sneaky closing doors that we don't see, John, and because now look at what you're doing, and man, I love the idea when we first started talking about how important it is to allow men to I like to say, take off the mask, lower the walls, get real comfortable, right? Because, you know, I grew up, you know, boys are supposed to be men, boys don't cry, hold everything in. If you cry, you're a sissy. You know, if somebody gets ready to beat you up, can't tell anybody, right? All these things. So that burden starts at an early age, man.
Right.
You know, so we're carrying that burden through bad relationships. We're carrying that burden through emotional, sometimes undiagnosed mental things going on with us. And that's a whole nother level of surrender. You know? And so, and you doing this, what is it? I mean, we talked earlier before the show. You said you came to a realization that half of what you've been through isn't about you.
Yeah. I think a lot of times people experience the vicissitudes of life and they go, it's either fight or flight.
Yeah.
and you're faced with a decision of whether you're going to stand there and fight or you're going to run away from the issue. And the caveat to that is you won't be able to fix what you aren't willing to face.
Mm.
And when you are dealing with life, because at this particular time, I know life is life for everybody. Life is life for me still, in spite of everything, that I've been blessed to do. But half the stuff that we go through usually isn't about us. And God had to check me with that. It's because a lot of the things that we go through is because God is allowing us to become that vessel so we can be a blessing to other people.
Yes.
And so, and once you realize that half the stuff isn't about you, you tend to change your perspective and shift your mindset and say, okay, well, Lord, what is it that you're trying to teach me in this situation? What is it that I'm supposed to learn from this situation? What is this I'm supposed to leave in this situation? And how can I use this to be a blessing to somebody else?
Yeah. I love that, man. And it's so folks are saying good morning to you, Isaac Murray. Hey, what's up, Isaac? And Trinice and Ayon, some folks saying thumbs up and loving what you're saying.
Oh, that's my boo. That's Trinice. Hey, boo.
Yeah. So they're showing up for you as always. Let us know where you're coming in from, by the way. Drop some love in the comments for John, and let's keep this thing moving. So, John, what about the people that say, well, I don't have anything to say. Nobody wants to hear from me. I believe that we all have a certain message that only those people with our fingerprint can hear. What do you think about that, man?
I think a lot of times we tend to think that nobody wants to hear our story. Mm. And that's one of the most misconceptions that people live on a daily basis, because everybody, believe it or not, everybody has a story to tell. And whatever it is that you've gone through, whatever trauma that you've experienced, whatever season of life that you've been in, you've gone through it so you could be a blessing to other people.
Yeah.
People just don't feel comfortable and transparent and vulnerable enough to share their story. Yeah. So that's why they don't want to share their story.
Yeah.
And once I think when I turned 45, I freed myself up of people's opinions about me. And I literally live with so much freedom because I don't care what people think or say about me.
Yeah.
And you have to reach that level of being good and grown and to recognize that. So, in part of my platform, you have to be transparent and you have to have some authentic. You can't be up here faking the funk because people are going to read through that.
Yeah.
Transformation occurs when you're transparent.
Oh man, there's no doubt about it. Because if somebody has the courage to share something that is like, oh my goodness, I like to call it dropping their drawers. Sorry guys if you don't get that, but I'm old school like that, where everything is exposed. Mm-hmm. Then we have a chance to decide for real. That connection comes through that empathy of that, and so I love that, man. I wrote down good and grown and can't fix what you aren't willing to face. Mm-hmm. Right? There's some denial though. How do you get us through the denial part? Because sometimes we don't, it's glaring to everybody else.
Yeah, it's funny because my mom used to always say, when I would do certain things, well, everybody ain't lying on you. So whatever it is they say that you're doing, you probably involved because everybody ain't lying on you.
Yeah,
I just think it takes the right person and the right people around you, because I have a good circle of friends and family members. We believe in holding each other accountable.
Yeah.
And so, we're open to correction. But a lot of times people aren't open to correction because there's no compassion behind it.
Right.
People always have their thoughts and opinions about certain things, but if somebody that you feel comfortable with and somebody that you trust, they should be able to call you out on your mess.
Right. But now, even with all that there's still some people that is the first thing is to react rather than respond, let it absorb.
Ooh. Because
there's some hurt in there, right? I mean, there's still some pain that we may not know. Right. Yeah. And then, so I love that. Sounds like what you guys are doing when you come together, you're letting them know that, hey, it's just a process. And what we're doing is a new practice.
Right.
Like, I mean, what are some of the things that you see that are pretty common with the men that you're working with, and what are you doing to solve it?
It's funny that you should ask that. And the crazy part about it, in Atlanta as well as Detroit, from day one, I said, I know I'm gonna get some resistance from some of the brothers because we got brothers from all various ages, from 22 to 23 to 65 years old.
Yeah.
And so I just knew everybody was gonna come in there and just kind of fill the room. But when I tell you, from day one, when we started in Atlanta, I promise you, everybody came in with the open mindset and willing to pour into each other,
Yeah.
and willing to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because I, wanted to establish that, listen, we're going to talk about some things that you might not want to talk about.
Right.
And, we're here to help each other out, because whatever you need, and I try to position myself to where if anybody needs anything, it's in the room, or somebody in the room needs what they can possess, the need that they have.
Right.
And so with me, it was just being honest and transparent, and, talking about my life, my experiences. And we talk about different things such as trauma, conflict resolution, some of the things that, truth be told, should have been dealt with years ago. But unfortunately, we really didn't, black folks didn't start going to therapy until the last 30 or 40 years.
Man, you better not bring therapy up, say something to somebody, you better watch out.
Right.
Duck after you say it.
Right.
What? I ain't crazy. What I
Right.
need to go therapy for?
And they've been thrown off ever since they were 16 years old.
Yeah.
But they just didn't have a proper name for it. And that was one of the reasons why I created my podcast, Beyond the Cave. Yes. Because I was like, Lord, we need to have things in place to where we can overcome these obstacles. So I was blessed to have a multimillionaire entrepreneur who's also a veterinarian. I also have licensed clinical psychologists, authors, speakers, counselors, therapists, 2 pastors on the panel. Yeah. So we're taking a holistic approach on everything that we're able to do to try to pour back and give back to the community and empower the brothers.
Yeah, and y'all do it just like we're sitting here talking, take off the mask and have a conversation. Doesn't matter who's here.
Right.
No subject off limits from what I've seen. And the titles sit on the table when y'all come to the circle.
Oh, yeah.
It's all men. It's just men in there talking and sharing their experiences.
Yes.
So, and now you say you're getting ready to do it somewhere. You launched it, kind of started in Georgia, right?
Yeah.
So when you first kicked that one off, and now you're doing it in Detroit. What is it? What is it about all of this stuff you're doing, John, about you that led you to this? I know you said COVID was what God was doing. but what about John?
Yeah, that's the funny part of God placed this in me. And it's crazy because there's been different shifts in my life. For one point in time, I became the best-selling author. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe this is the lane that this is the road I need to travel.
Right.
But then I entered the speak off competition, won it. People started inviting me to come speak and do these type of things. So I was like, okay, well, maybe this is the role that I'm supposed to be on as well.
Right.
And, I started to embrace that. And then God was like, okay, I need you to focus on the brothers. And so it's like I'm doing all 3 things, but it's all giving back to help people. Yeah. And that's, at the end of the day, I want to be able to say, I want God to be able to say, good and faithful servant, well done.
Well done. Yeah. And nobody really needs to know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I love about you. Just a humble cat back in and pulling things together, putting some and around some really difficult but necessary things, man. I mean, and so
and meanwhile fighting my own, trying to navigate through my own circumstances.
I was just gonna ask you.
So I tell people, man, you see the videos and you see everything, but Listen, I struggle with stuff every day too.
Yeah.
And I'm not ashamed to say.
Yeah. And I think that's the beautiful part about it is that, you know, I mean, I did a video yesterday about, you know, focusing on the outcome because I did some walking, right? And my knees were hurting. It was hot. My knees were hurting. I'm like, you know, this is the one side goal. But as we talk about what's the other conversation, it was, all right, what's the goal? What's the objective? Like you're talking about. So, but how do you keep people in that space like I was the other day where I just like, man, I had no choice really. I could crawl home or call an Uber, right? And neither one of them was an option. So how do you help people that are like, man, they come and they see it, but they're just not sure?
Only thing that we can do, we can give people options, but it'll ultimately be up to them to make the choice and the decision.
Yeah, that's right.
And you can put stuff out there, and you know how brothers are. You can put stuff out there. Sometimes you can get 20, sometimes you can get 2. It just, we have to realize that there are different things that's out there. We just need to be willing to take advantage of them. And I think a lot of times the main reason why brothers won't do it is because they don't want to be vulnerable in front of other men.
Yeah. Yeah.
And once, you know, they usually every Atlanta, Detroit, once that one person comes, they're bringing somebody else with them and they're coming back.
Well, the community is full of it, man. I mean, we all circle around certain people, man. We all have certain things we do well and certain things we have. One common thing you're talking about, we've been talking about it, is being comfortable, being vulnerable.
Right.
Being comfortable raising your hand and saying, man, you know, I'm getting ready to cheat on my wife. I need some help. Or my wife cheated on me and I still love her. I don't know what to do. Or whatever it might be. Right. You know, I was talking to a guy the other day around prostate. You know, I had prostate surgery 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And all those things that go along with, can I be the man I used to be sexually? Can I, you know, I don't know where it's all that, man. And so.
That's hard. That's hard for men to admit because it's teetering on your manhood. But at the same time, because we actually did a segment, the fireside chat from Beyond the Cave, and we were talking about, listen, because all of us on the panel are 50 and over, except for one, and he's a pecan season away and don't recognize it. But we have to realize that at the age of 50, hey man, have you had your colonoscopy? Man, have you had your prostate exam?
That's right.
And these are cancers that can be treated and prevented, but we have to get out of that thinking that go to the doctor. And that's one thing we don't want to do. And one thing about me, if I sneeze the wrong way, you can best believe I'm going to the doctor. Yeah. Because I'm trying to be around here 110 years.
Hey, man, listen, Moses, they said Moses, I don't know the story all the way, but they said he was 123 and that brother was still climbing mountains at 100.
I don't want to climb no mountains, but I still want to be here.
Oh, man. But see, I mean, you and I can appreciate what we're talking about. Right? But I like what you said about trying to help other people. You can't always help everybody. And I like to think of it, you can't push a wet noodle, right? I mean, a wet noodle is just what it is. So we pray for them and we invite them and we love on them where they are, you know. And I think that's something we all can practice, more patience with people. Right. You know? And so now you're making these moves in this space. But what part of your life, John, where, you know, you were that man and life was just heavy, you know, in your journey, where you look back now and have a whole different perspective on it? You got anything you can share with us about them dark secrets that, you know, linger?
Yeah. The last 2.5 years, or the last 3 years of my life were brutal. And you know, like I told you, I ended up catching COVID, was turned into long COVID. And mind you, I went just about a whole 1.5 years with no income coming in outside of the short-term, long-term disability. And like I said, I got a daughter that's trying to graduate college, and she want red bottoms on her graduation photo. So, you know, life was life. And in the midst of that, I was dealing with 3 other traumas for a 2-year period. I was losing several close family members and friends. I had a bad breakup and just dealing with the financial stuff. And that what inspired me to write my last book, Conquering the Cave.
Yeah.
And that was a rough season. And literally, it was just times where it was just me and God. And that's why I equated that my house was that cave.
Yeah.
And literally, that God had blocked everybody out, tuned everybody out, where it could literally just be me and him. And one of the questions I asked him, I said, well, Lord, why are you allowing all this to happen to me? Because I live right, I do right, I try to treat people right. And he hurried up and he told me, say, you know why? Because I trust you with trouble.
Ooh.
And he said, I know you're not going to fold. I know you're not going to throw in the towel. You're going to keep pushing. You're going to keep pressing. And you're going to keep going. And you are the vessel and you are the person that I need to let people know that God is real. Yeah. And so once I figured that out and once God corrected me and checked me, and I took time out to heal from all of that and stuff started looking up. And, you know, in the process of that, wrote 2 other books. One is going to be released next month. And it's Life Beyond the Cave, which is the following the book, Conquering the Cave. And so I'm just letting brothers know, like, I survived. And when I tell you, most people would have been cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But it was my faith. It was my family, some family, and it wasn't nothing but my DNA that kept me going. And only thing I can hear was my mom and dad. Boy, you better not quit. You better keep going. You better keep pushing. You keep going.
Yeah.
And so it was a rough 2.5 years, but now I've been blessed to get an opportunity to travel the world and speak. I have an opportunity to write books. I have an opportunity to share a platform with my brothers with 30 plus years of friendship and empower people. I have a beautiful woman that I plan on making my wife real soon. So I'm super duper excited about how everything is going in my life right now. But like I said, don't get it twisted. I still have problems. But it's not, I'm not no longer in the cave. I'm experiencing life beyond the cave now.
Yeah. You know, I love the titles, and I just assume they all kind of show different pieces of your life, different seasons. Life beyond the cave now. And it's always, like we talk about on, you know, from our community, is the comeback is embracing the comeback, right? It's just like embracing the life in the cave, man, because that's where you really have those conversations with God, if that's what you believe in, whoever you have that with, or you call back on some experiences that your parents reminded you of. Right. And even if I didn't have any parents, I grew up in a broken home where someone's touched us somewhere that we can lean on, we can point to, and do the things that are necessary, embracing the comeback. Yes. So it's really, man, about So I got to ask.
Go ahead.
What about the youth, man? Let's talk about them for a minute, right? That age, you know, where they, you know, some will say they could be lost already.
Right.
I mean, do you guys have something in your arsenal that we could get to those? Are you already dealing with them as well?
It's funny because I actually, for the last 14 years, been mentoring the youth, the males in Bibb County. And it's funny because through my fraternity as well, and we've sent over 70 to 80 kids to college. maybe 10 or 15 of them have become my frat brothers.
Wow.
And we still have lifelong connections. They still call me, you know, hey man, hey, I need your advice about this. And they good and grown with their families now.
Nice.
So, you know, it's just kind of, it's a blessing because one, I had an opportunity to see some the seeds that I've sown because we started with them in middle school.
Yeah.
And we followed them all throughout after high school and all throughout after college.
Yeah.
So I had a unique experience of actually seeing the growth in a lot of these young men. And we actually, the crazy part about it, the group in Atlanta, as well as in Detroit, we have a couple of younger guys, 22, 23 years old. And it's funny because they need to be reached, they need to be mentored too.
Yeah.
And I tell them all the time, like, you all are catching this at a good age because I wish we had stuff like this when I was coming up and have people giving me the blueprint and how to reach this and how to obtain this and how to do this. Yeah. You know, but it's all about God's timing. And like I said, for 15 years, I mentored the youth, and we still have our hand on the community, and we still mentoring the young. Until God tell me that's who I need to be, because it takes a special person to deal with the 10 to about 17 crowds, 10 to 18 crowd.
Yeah.
I've done it for so many years. I'm not opposed to doing it.
Yeah.
And it's easy. I think it was Frederick Douglass said that it's easier to repair fix children than it is to repair a broken man. So somebody has to catch these young brothers. This season, I'm kind of focused on the older ones, so we can get the brothers back to being the men that God has called us to be.
To be leaders, to be true leaders in our own authenticity and see our identity as He sees us.
Right.
And the identity connection, I believe, is blurred. You know, we families are separated and things are done to us that we can't stop. And that impacts generational identity, right? I mean, we're talking about some real conversation that we'd love to get with you in another conversation. But that thing, I believe, feeds some of that stinking thinking, feeds all that. You know, and our women pay the price. We get a man that we think we have the man, and he's got a secret, and he's got more than one secret, and they reach out to us, and we reach back. You know, let's teach them to lean in. That's what you're doing. You're teaching people to lean in.
Right.
Oh man, that's what's up. And the youngsters, I had to ask because I'm looking. I got granddaughters 15, and I love her, man, and we grew up together, and so we got the connection. But then I see that population, and it's like,
and there are things that we plan on doing back, and a lot of the guys from the podcast gives back, and spend time with the youth in the community. Matter of fact, Dr. Hodges, it takes a village. He gives back yearly, important to the young people. So it's just, we're doing it individually. We tap in and help out what we needed. But as of now, until the Lord tells us, well, I need you back with the babies. And here again, I'm not opposed to helping and mentoring somebody 13, 14, 15. They can come along for the ride too. But right now, I think my focus is trying to get men back to the rightful places, to where, because at the end of the day, the kids need their father. They need that father figure. They need that uncle. And trying to get them back into the home. So they can in turn take care of their youth.
Man, I hear you loud and clear. I was thinking as you were talking about all of the single family homes, and the majority of them are moms, and then we have gentlemen that are producing more children and not taking the responsibility, and that's our village.
Right.
right? And being able to really kind of say, whoa, wait, there's a better way, and do that. So I believe what you're doing is the right thing, and you're in the right spot.
Right.
We've got to put our mask on first as men.
Right.
Right.
Because when you think about it, 40, 50 years ago, when they took and society started taking the men out of the house. That's when we start having these problems.
Right. Well, that was an extension from earlier when we were separated, like I said, when we got here.
Right.
The whole generational piece, man. So,
So we trying to get brothers healed and back in the house.
Healed and back in the house. Yeah. Stay at home, be at home, make home be the place where it's the most important thing in your life, man.
That part.
And so, boy, I can't wait. How do we get you to Houston? How do we get you to Texas, you and your group, man?
Actually, Houston is one of our cities. And you remember I was supposed to come out there in February. And ended up getting sick and was unable to come out there.
Okay, yeah, y'all didn't come then. Okay, I got you.
They came. I didn't come because I got sick. But Houston is actually one of the places we're going to hit at the beginning of next year.
Okay.
And matter of fact, I want to connect you with my high school teammate and frat brother. He's a psychotherapist out there in Houston.
Oh, that would be an awesome connection. I appreciate that for sure.
I'm going to definitely connect you all. Yeah. And matter of fact, I see him this weekend, matter of fact, for our class reunion.
Yeah. All right, that'd be great. And I'm just looking at the chat. Trish healed and in the house. She's Trinice, I believe it is, and she's been chatting it up the whole time, man. Some other folks while we've been going along, John. So I look forward to the connection in Houston. And man, I'm trying to hold you on already. Went past the minutes I was supposed to stop you, so
it's all good, brother.
Yeah. I love the time and the energy, man, and the sincerity. Because it's funny. I met you. I think it was Lisa Nichols training, and and I saw you, and I'm thinking it was lots of folks there, but you stood out to me. Because, man, we are chasing the same responsibility,
right?
Putting the men back in the house,
right?
As leaders, and gaining the respect back from our queens that we are supposed to guard and protect and grow together with, man. So let me just say to you that this time has really been enlightening, and I got a couple more questions for you.
Go ahead.
Is there anything that we've talked about that you don't want to leave untouched before we start to wind down that we've talked about? Because I have, a couple more questions. But certainly if there's anything you're like, hey, Geoff, man, I want to say something else around. Do you have anything like that? Because this is a powerful subject.
Oh, yeah. And I just want the brothers to be encouraged. I know it seemed like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. I know what that feels like, where you're in situations to where you cannot breathe and it feels like your whole world is turning upside down. I want you all to be encouraged. Know that trouble don't last always, and that God will see you through this situation, whatever that situation is, whether you're battling homelessness, drug addiction, sex addiction, whatever it is that you're dealing with. I promise you it's going to work itself out. You just have to keep pushing. You just have to keep praying and know that there's joy on the other side of your sorrow.
Yeah. I love that, man. Because you were talking about carrying the weight. And many times in life, I've been in that situation. It's like
heavy is the crown.
Heavy is the crown.
People don't understand it.
Yeah. But we don't have to stay suffering in silence anymore.
Right. Find your circle of friends.
Yes.
Find your circle and go heal. Whether it's the Cave of Kings Atlanta, whether it's the Cave of Kings Detroit, wherever you are, find your circle and heal. Be vulnerable and heal.
Yeah, and what do you say to those that say I did that and they didn't like me there, and so now they're back by themselves in the corner?
Go back.
Go back.
Sometimes, when you're in the process and you're dealing with life, things are gonna be super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And you're gonna want to throw in the towel, you're gonna want to give up, but you just have to realize that there's behind this process is the promise.
Yeah.
And we just have to keep going and keep pushing and keep pressing and just keep showing up. I tell people all the time, just keep going, just keep showing up.
Yeah.
And I, because I'm a church boy, I always had to have biblical reference. It's just like the woman that had the issue of blood.
Yeah.
She just kept showing up. She just kept showing up.
Yeah.
The guy at the pool of Bethesda, he kept showing up.
Yeah.
But he also had people around him that was able to help him get the healing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you just had to keep showing up and keep coming, keep going, and keep pushing, keep pressing, and keep praying.
And I love the fact that you don't have to do it alone.
Mm-mm.
And the biblical references you made were very powerful. And I like that. I wrote down some notes: be encouraged.
Yeah.
Find your circle and heal.
Yeah.
Let's step out of the darkness and into the light.
Yes, sir.
And reach out to them. So how do people get a hold of you? And is there anything that you're promoting that we haven't talked about that they may be able to take advantage of before you go?
You can follow me on Facebook, John Porter, Instagram, official John Porter. You can also follow the podcast, Beyond the Cave Podcast, on Facebook as well as Instagram and as well as YouTube. Yeah. Make sure you like, follow, and share, and make sure that you stay continued because we got a lot of good things that we're doing, and I'm super duper excited. We're going to be here in Detroit in September. We're either going to be in Nashville or New Orleans, Baton Rouge, November-ish. We're trying to hit up a couple of HBCU homecomings. Of course, I'm biased to my university, the Fort Valley State University. Go Wildcats.
Go Wildcats.
And so that's what we're doing, and I'm super duper excited about that. I also have my book coming out next month, Life Beyond the Cave. And make sure you tap in with us. If you're in Atlanta, follow us, Cave of Kings on Facebook. Tap in with us. We'd love to connect. Same thing with Detroit. Reach out to me if you need anything. I might not have all the answers, but I know somebody that does. Yeah. And that's the man above.
Amen. 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 Well, listen, Mr. John, I am going to let you go now. Although I'd love to get into some other subjects, we'll have to kind of have you back when we do that, man, and kind of take a journal of the progress with the workshop that you're doing. And we appreciate everybody that was here today. And Shanice is saying, excellent dialogue, gentlemen, time well spent. And that's the whole goal of this whole mission. Conversations with Geoff is having powerful people like yourself to come in here, sit down with me, and let's just have a chat.
Yes, sir.
Skip all the nonsense and talk about what's really going on. So you've done that. And man, I'm so glad that we've met, and I'm looking forward to more conversations with you.
Me as well, man. Thank you so much for having me, brother.
Yeah.
It's an honor.
An honor back at you, John, and keep doing what you're doing because no one else right now is following that call. So that's yours to honor and yours to make happen.
Yes, sir.
I'm excited for you, man.
Thank you so much. And you as well. You as well.
Yes, sir. Love and respect.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye. So, hey, listen, man, I told y'all, I don't make this stuff up. Our goal and our mission is to bring people in here that I know are dedicated to serving you. I know that are dedicated to making sure that you are not alone, and the Stinkin thinking and all the other things that go along with where you are right now that's locking you up don't have to stay there. So I encourage you to reach out to John, and I haven't got the books yet, but I'm going to get those because I believe that shows a whole lot of who he is on the deep side and things that I can take just like you can. So go out there and start getting his books. And remember this. He really, I mean, half the stuff that you're going through ain't about you. Right? I'm going to say it again. Half of the stuff you're going through is not about you. So what does that mean? That means take the focus off of yourself and put it on that voice that you hear inside of you, like John did, right? When he was going through COVID, going through some things, man. And COVID is no joke. And life without income for a while, right? So he made it. And you can too. So anyway, share this information. Get ready for the next session with Mr. John, because he don't know it yet, but I'm going to get him back here because I got a whole nother list of questions to ask him. And y'all have a fantastic day. And remember, don't let nothing stop you from reaching your destiny. You know how I say it. Don't let nothing stop you from reaching your destiny. You shall not be denied. Oh, man, take what Mr. Porter said today and put it in place right now and flip the script on your stinking thinking. And like he said, the promise, baby. The poop's before the promise. I keep it kind of clean. The poop is before the promise. Go find your promise. Let us help you do that. All right, have a fantastic day, and we'll see you on the next episode of Conversations with Geoff. Take care.